Yeah, so everybody, please remember that we have our reunion starting from the 6th to the 9th, I think, of June. It will be a beautiful time here in St. Albert. So please make it a date and hopefully see you soon. My name is Ifeanyi Vincent Ihaza, but as you know, most people know me as Vincent.
Sir, is it doctor? Is it professor?
Well, I'm not one that likes the labels, okay. But if you're asking specifically about my profession, I'm a pharmacist.
Okay, so pharmacist Vincent Ihaza.
If you say so. So that's a tricky one for me because sometimes I really have to think far back. I joined the choir probably around 1992, because I joined Univen in 91, about that session, 1990-91 session. So I joined the choir. Then, when I left the choir, have I really left the choir? I think. But if you are talking about active years, I could say throughout my stay in school and even beyond that. So down up to 2000, maybe 2, 3. Yeah, I should say that should be about the span. Since then, I've been traveling and not really been around. Yeah, so that would be very easy. I've only held 2 positions, let's say 3 officially. The first was as a choir master. That was around 95. I remember that clearly because that was the first edition of film period. So I had just taken over from Joe Mokoye, and he was supposed to see us through the film. So that one is distinct. Then, as the chairman of the choir, that should have been about 2008, 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I also led the choir to just for that edition of film. The minor one would be maybe as a position of the keyboardist, which was really nothing too constitutional. So that's why I would say
at the time. Yeah. So now we have chief instrumentalist.
Yeah. Okay, so the one that really stands out, and I mean, there have been lots of fantastic moments, but film first edition was one that stood out. It had never happened before. We had never had such a great gathering of people from all over the country, and being that we're also privileged to be part of the organizing committee, Professor Ananefo really brought us into confidence in discussing his plans and all that, and seeing it materialize in such a beautiful way. Yeah. So on that day when it really came to fruition, when it came together, yeah, it felt great. And even greater still when it turned out that Univen did better, in quotes, than most of the other choirs that came. Yeah, that was one major thing. Maybe another could be when we had a concert here. So that concert was really unique. It was an Easter concert, and we did feel that we had done horribly in the presentation. In fact, we had gathered here. I can't remember the year. Father Dondon was the parish priest back then. So we did sing. We had some acting to depict the passion and everything. And at the time we started, the lights were all off, and there were very few people in church. But by the time we had finished the first part, which ended with "As I look up to the cross" and everything, and the lights came on after the sound of the crucifixion, and we saw the congregation, and there were many people there, and we saw people with tears in their eyes. It was an overwhelming yet powerful experience, which I'd never seen, never experienced, and it just showed firsthand how powerful unpretended ministration can really be, and that it doesn't always have to result in people being excited. The fruits can be overwhelming. Yeah, that left an indelible mark.
All right, sir. So I don't know if maybe meeting your wife in the choir was part of the favorite moment. Maybe just a little bit of that.
Except you want to say so for me. So, but for me, I brought out the two strong ones that came out. Meeting my wife was a process. Wasn't an event in itself. Okay, so about the flip side, the embarrassing moment. Yeah, one stands out. In fact, I had to dig deep into my subconscious because I think it was deeply buried to show you how impactful it was. So there was one harvest mass that I had to sing the psalm. I had a duet with Dr. Timothy's younger sister, Maria. And unfortunately, it's either the text was different from, the text was really different from what we saw up there. And that was the first sign of wahala. We stared and we struggled. And at some point, the tune had exhausted, and then we still had more words to go. Of course, you can imagine we prayed for the ground to swallow us up that day, and I think it hit me in more ways than I can imagine. The rest of the day was a blur. I couldn't remember what happened again after that, how we managed to get back to the gallery, and I have never taken a song. It was that bad. In front of, and then the presiding minister was the Archbishop, I think, of Jos. Wow. Then the church was packed full. It was really bad. But again, I learned from it.
Yes, but
well, it doesn't mean I've not recovered. It's just that over time, I think more people have been more worthy than I think I am to go and sing. So I don't put myself forward in a hurry to go and sing. Yeah, so one critical thing I've learned from being in the choir, the choir puts you on a pedestal, whether you like it or not. People know who you are, whether in the congregation or parishioners and all that. It has taught me how to aim for being a responsible person and a model, a Christian model, anywhere you go to. It's amazing how many people will just walk up to you and say, "Oh, you didn't," even as recent as just last Friday or Thursday, I saw someone who greeted me and said, "Oh, you don't know me, but I used to be in the choir. I had a short stint in the choir many years ago." So it just puts on me that responsibility to always comport myself in a way that is pleasing to God primarily, and by extension is edifying to the people I encounter. That has been one critical lesson for me. Also, the need for organization is critical. Before that is humility. I've met very humble persons before me, and they've challenged me. People are even regarded as saints in a way, and despite the position they hold, despite their stature in the society, they still stood down to the authority of the choir master or the pack leader. That's a very, very strong, at least a very strong impression for me to try to emulate at all times. Yeah, so those will be my top two lessons.
And actually, sir, on that humility, I think you're one person that all of us look up to.
If you say so.
That's the humility.
I will always say, look on to Jesus, not up to me.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so if I were to pick one major advice, it would be that at all times they remember that they bear Christ in their heart. That if they go around with that consciousness, and that He sees us and He knows what we think, what we do, even in the secret places of our lives, it will shape their approach to doing things. I say this especially because of how much temptation is in the world, how much we are exposed to things that will pull us away from the road that Christ has actually asked us to walk. It's important for us to to walk that straight path, though it may be narrow, but it will be critical in shaping our lives and the lives of the people around us. So yes, it may sound academic, but I think just reminding yourselves every time that you are a Christ bearer will help you to act in ways that will be pleasing to Him every time, and apply yourself in service to others, and do your best to the best of your ability in the choir as well, in service.